Hello beautiful humans, my name is Kayla Collier and welcome back to my YouTube channel where I spread love and positivity by showing you the journey through my life. Hello and welcome to the very first Face Your Giant Wednesday. So I'm so excited to be uploading a YouTube video every single Wednesday about the topic of facing your giant. So let me kind of give you a background of why I chose the Face Your Giant title. I had so many to pick from and I prayed about it and I prayed about it and I wrote all my suggestions down to myself. I'm such a list person, so I had an ongoing list going of just like encouragement Wednesday, overcoming fear Wednesday. I had so many of these things made up in my mind. The one that stuck the most was Facing Your Giant, because Sunday I went to church and we were singing and praising the Lord, and it just came to me that this was going to be the name of this series that I'm going to make on YouTube. So the whole reason I chose Facing Your Giant as the title is because we all are facing our own giant, whether it be a struggle you're going through right now or a battle you are facing. You have your own giant that you tackle every single day, and I want to shed some light on that. So whether your giant is cancer, or whether it be depression or anxiety, or maybe it's suicidal thoughts, or maybe it's dealing with a loved one who had recently passed or even passed a while ago. Maybe it's someone is bullying you, or maybe it's a job that you don't want to be going to every single day, or maybe it's struggling with weight loss, or maybe it's just struggling from being a people pleaser, or maybe it's struggling with a fertility issue like me. Whatever your struggle is, we are all facing a giant every single day. And so I am here to shed light on that. So I want to first start off by saying that you are facing this struggle for a reason. There is a reason for this season, okay? I didn't mean to rhyme, but that just happened. There is a reason for the season, literally. So take me, for example. I have PCOS. Do I want PCOS? No. Did I choose this for my life? No. But this might be hard to hear for some people, but God chose that for you. When God knitted you in your mother's womb, He already had the whole thing planned out for you. So He knew exactly what you would be facing, how you would get through it, and how He would help you through it. So if you're needing to find some rest today, you could rest in that alone and even in the video there, but I encourage you to keep listening. So the whole reason I started these YouTube videos is because I know that 1 in every 8 women is struggling with PCOS. So I'm using my PCOS as a platform to reach out to other women. I am currently finding purpose in my pain, and I know God gave me PCOS so that I can reach out to others and I can encourage them through their pain as well. So speaking on that, probably 5 or 6 months ago, I really opened up about my PCOS. I was posting on Instagram and posting on Facebook and just kind of sharing my story. I actually made a Facebook post a while back talking about how PCOS didn't define me. Yes, I got labeled with PCOS because it was my diagnosis, but it did not define who I am, because my definition of who I am is a child of God, because I am chosen. So that being said, I made this Facebook post a while ago about that, and I had a girl reach out to me, and she is very sweet, and I have known her previously because we went to the same high school together, and she reached out to me and was just saying how she was going through some of the same things. And I remember that day I sat on Facebook Messenger and just blew up her phone. I was texting her, I was voice messaging. I'm very long-winded when it comes to telling my journey and opening up to other people and talking about God. Sharing my journey and talking about God are my 2 favorite things to talk about, so I can get very long-winded talking about that. So I remember voice messaging her and just giving her hope. I could tell at this point in her life, she was in a very dark place. I felt like she had actually turned away from God and just was sitting in a depressed state in her life. And so I was getting that through her messages she was sending me. So I took that opportunity to be very straightforward with her and tell her, hey, maybe God is putting you through this struggle right now so that you can turn back to Him. Maybe He wants you to find strength in Him, and He just wants to be there for you in this season in your life. And I feel like things will get so much better for you if you place your hope in Him again. And then I stopped hearing from her for a week or so. And so I would always reach back out to her and be like, hey girl, did you go to church today? Or hey girl, I heard this really cool song on the radio and I really want you to listen to it. Just give it a listen to the lyrics, and I hope that it brightens your day a little bit. And I would just send her those little messages here and there, just to sprinkle some God in her life and just to encourage her throughout her weeks and her days. And it is so crazy how she has transformed. I literally just talked to her yesterday and she is striving. Like, you can see God moving in her life now. She opened up those doors again, invited Him in. She's going to church. She's reading her Bible. She is doing all of the things. She's praying. She's having those conversations with God. She is just talking to Him and connecting with Him and building that relationship with Him. And it is so cool to see her story and how she's transforming and how she is growing in God. And it just touches me deeply, and it warms my heart, because that is exactly what I'm here to do. I know that if I can just touch one person, that is enough. So if you're feeling like, I don't know why I'm going through this, I'm having a rough time, I'm having a hard time even dragging myself out of bed in the morning, this is so hard, try praying to God, try turning to Him, try letting Him be your guide in your life. Because like I said before, I solely believe that I was given PCOS by God so that I can share my story, and He has equipped me with the tools to open up and share my story so that I can connect with others and I can turn them to God, turn them back to Him, and give them some hope in their life. So with all that being said, do I still struggle with having a PCOS as a diagnosis and knowing that that was my plan for me from God? Yes, I still struggle with that. Literally last week, I had a breakdown, not joking. So most of the time, I am great, I'm gravy, I'm fabulous, I'm smiling, and I live life for God, and that brings me so much hope. But there are those little times where I'm human and I have flesh and my emotions get the best of me and I get overwhelmed and I let my emotions show by crying. And so last week, that's exactly what happened. I was so overwhelmed. I love to do my own research on PCOS just so that I know and I am equipped with that knowledge. And so I was watching the YouTube videos. I was on Instagram following other women who have PCOS. I wanted to get a game plan. But while I was doing my own research, I was feeding myself all this information and all of it was coming in and I was getting very overwhelmed. And the reason why I got so overwhelmed is because I was learning about PCOS and the symptoms. And one of the symptoms was night sweats and getting up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom. And I'm sitting here scratching my head like, how in the world does a PCOS symptom have to do with anything of getting up and going to the bathroom? Well, it's a thing that I found out. And the whole reason is because either your adrenal gland is insufficient or is way too much and it actually wakes you up in the middle of the night. And that is the thing that's waking you up, not actually that your bladder is full and that you need to go to the bathroom. The thing that happens is it wakes you up and then you're like, oh, I have a little bit of liquid in there, so I might as well just go to the bathroom. And so I was just like, what? And that like blew my mind. I was like, holy guacamole. Everything that I'm doing in my life is directly related to my PCOS. Every symptom and every single thing in my life is related to that. Literally today, I took a 2.5, 3 hour nap because I was so fatigued because that's another symptom of my PCOS. And so last week, I let that ruin me. I let that break me down. I got so overwhelmed and I just lost it. And there's nothing bad with showing your feelings and letting them out. Don't think that I'm saying that that's a bad thing. I'm not, but don't sit in that. And that's what happened to me. So I was at work, I was on my computer, and I was researching all this stuff. And my mood instantly, when I saw that getting up and going to the bathroom in night sweats had to do with my PCOS, I immediately got discouraged. And I was sad/irritated the whole day. Like, I did my research at like 10 to 11 o'clock in the morning, and then I let that affect my whole entire day, all day long. So then I was like playing it cool at work. I was like doing the things, still functioning. And then I got home and was telling my husband, and I just lost it. I was just questioning everything and I was overwhelmed, and I let it out, which is a good thing. But the fact that I had let it affect my whole day was not good. And so after venting to him and talking to him and just praying about it, I felt 1,000 times better. Yes, 1,000. Because literally only God can give you that hope. Only God knows you 100%. He handcrafted you in your mother's womb. And so he knew you were going to be He knew you were going to be born way before your mother even thought of you. And so he created you for a purpose. He created you and he chose you. And so he knows you way better than anybody else. And so when I opened my heart and I prayed about it, it just relieved me of all of my pain. So with that being said, I want to read you a Bible verse. This is my She Reads Truth Bible, by the way. I love it. So this Bible verse comes from Matthew 11:28, and it says, "Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." That's exactly what I needed that day. I was burdened by all of the information overload I had just gotten. And if I honestly would have prayed while I was at work when I felt overwhelmed, my whole day would have gone differently. But instead, I decided to sulk in that and ruined the day. But I wanted to tell you all of that because I am not perfect. I am still learning. I'm still going through the journey. But I want to give you some tools that you can use as well whenever you're having a difficult and hard time. Okay, so let me talk about God for a little bit. Let me hype him up a little bit because he is my strength and my savior, and he provides me with hope. And so I want to tell you all about him. So like I said earlier, whatever struggle you are going through, it seems hard, it seems rough, it seems unfair. But I just want to let you know that God is with you, literally every step of the way. He is with you. So in the midst of that storm, in all the unfair parts, in all the overwhelming parts, he is with you. Don't ever think that you are alone, because you're not. He is watching over you and guiding your every step. And that is the awesome part about God, because we don't have to have it all figured out. For all you perfectionists out there who have to know every single little detail, you really don't. Newsflash. Because God, he already has it all figured out. You don't have to worry about anything. But we're human, and we worry, we stress, we get anxiety, and we just blow it out of proportion. But God is there. He already has it figured out. So let me read you another Bible verse. Okay, so this is from Jeremiah 29:11, and it says, "For I know the plans I have for you." This is the Lord's declaration. "Plans for your well-being, not for disaster, to give you a future and a hope." What have I been talking about this whole time? Hope. You can find hope in God. He tells us this throughout the Bible and in this verse right here. And did you hear that first part? "For I know the plans I have for you." He knows. He knows every step that you're going to take, and he wants to guide you through that. He is sitting there saying, "I am bigger than that giant you are facing. Lean on me. Find rest in me, because I am your living hope." So that scary giant that you are facing, Every single morning that you wake up, know that it is a new day for beautiful things to happen and a new day to walk in hope with God. So whatever you're facing, whatever big scary giant you're facing, all of those examples that I said at the beginning and more, because the list goes on and on, because life is hard, just know that your God is bigger than your giant. So do me a favor and tell your giant about your God. And I'll just leave you with this last little thing to think about. Every morning that you wake up, I want you to choose to fight your battle, knowing that God stands far bigger than your giant. Okay, so like every end of a YouTube video, I want to, 1, thank you for making it to the end of my video. 2, please click that like button to support your girl. And 3, make sure you subscribe, because facing your giant Wednesdays are gonna be a thing. Thanks for being here, and I hope you enjoyed this video.